Something about the phrase itself carries a quiet weight that lands differently now. Still splitting our Christmases. Patrick Kielty said it once with the easy affection of a man describing the ordinary tug-of-war every couple knows: Birmingham or Dundrum, her family or his, the tree wherever the children wake up smiling. Back then it sounded like love finding its rhythm across two countries and two sets of grandparents. Now the same words feel sharper, heavier, almost prophetic. For viewers who have followed Cat Deeley and Patrick through the years, the shift is hard to ignore. Their marriage, announced so carefully in the summer of 2025, has already moved into its first full Christmas apart. The boys, Milo and James, are still young enough for the magic to feel absolute. And yet the practical reality has changed. Sources close to the family have spoken of the careful negotiations that come with co-parenting at this time of year, the quiet determination to give the children 2 Christmases in one, the unspoken sadness that arrives when the day of coming together becomes a day of careful dividing. You can almost feel the atmosphere that surrounds moments like these. Television has always loved the festive family story, the polished warmth of presenters talking about turkey and board games and early morning excitement. Cat has spoken in the past of the whirlwind of presents and scrambled eggs, of helping her mum with the dinner, of boys who still believe completely. Patrick has described reading The Night Before Christmas every year from the same book that once belonged to his own mother, the beach walks in Dundrum, the short opening of the local pub on Christmas morning. Those details once painted a shared picture. Now they sit side by side as separate memories being carefully rearranged. Many viewers noticed how the public conversation shifted once the separation became known. There was sympathy, of course, genuine concern for two people who had always seemed to protect their private life with unusual care. There was also recognition. So many families know the particular ache of the first Christmas after a split. The logistics of who has the children on the morning, who sees them in the afternoon, how to keep the wonder intact when the adults are still finding their footing. Some audiences began wondering whether the old pattern of alternating between England and Northern Ireland would somehow survive in new form, or whether entirely new traditions would have to be built from scratch. What stays with you is the quiet resolve both parents have shown. In their joint statement they asked only for privacy and made clear their commitment to remaining united as parents. Patrick, speaking later about the year he has lived through, the loss of his mother earlier in 2025, the end of the marriage, talked about wanting a pause button so the boys could stay a little longer in the sweet spot of childhood. The way he described it felt less like a celebrity soundbite and more like a father simply trying to hold on to something precious while everything else rearranged itself around him. Television culture has a way of making these stories feel both intimate and distant at the same time. We watch presenters who have spent years inviting us into the lighter corners of their lives, and then we watch the heavier chapters unfold at one remove. The studio lights stay bright. The tone stays measured. Yet something in the public reaction suggests people are reading between the lines. The determination to put the children first. The reluctance to let the season become a battleground. The recognition that love for 2 little boys can outlast the shape of a marriage. It is easy to imagine the small, invisible moments that never make the headlines, the conversations about advent calendars and which house gets the big tree this year, the effort to keep the magic consistent so the children never have to choose between parents on the day itself. Some viewers online interpreted the careful language around double the fun as both hopeful and heartbreaking. Hopeful because it shows 2 people still working as a team. Heartbreaking because the need for that language exists at all. Perhaps what lingers most is the simple humanity of it. Patrick and Cat were never the couple who performed their private life for the cameras. Their Christmas stories always felt grounded: cousins, board games, a slow cooker that once arrived as a less-than-perfect present, the ordinary compromises of blending 2 families across the Irish Sea. That ordinariness is what makes the current dilemma feel so recognizable. Many people watching have lived some version of it. The first year the table feels different. The first year the children move between 2 celebrations. The first year the phrase "splitting our Christmases" stops being a joke about in-laws and becomes something more permanent. And maybe that is why the story continues to hold attention long after the cameras have moved on. Not because it offers drama or scandal, but because it asks a quieter question: how do you protect the wonder for the children when the adults are still learning the new shape of the year? How do you keep the tree standing in two places at once without the light dimming in either? Whatever the exact arrangements turn out to be this Christmas, the public sense is that both parents are trying to answer that question with care. In a media landscape that often rushes toward the next headline, there is something quietly powerful about watching two people simply refuse to let the season become another stage for conflict. The boys will still wake up to presents. There will still be stories and walks and whatever new rituals are being invented right now, away from the noise. And somewhere in the background, the old phrase keeps echoing, still splitting our Christmases, only now it carries the weight of everything that has changed, and everything that is being carefully, deliberately held together. What do you think stayed with you most when you first heard about their plans? Did the older interviews feel different looking back, or did the focus on the children feel like the only part that truly mattered?